Hello there, and welcome to another episode of 20 Sides of Failure Plays Curse of Strahd. I am your humble DM, who hopefully has figured out why things are doing the things that they're doing. We can only hope. And here are my lovely players. Starting in the top corner, we have our Aasimar Paladin.
Hello, I'm Nurin, and I will be doing Aurora Rose, whose mind is completely blank right now, more or less.
Speaking of another blank slate, we have our Elven Sorcerer.
Hi guys, my name is Mythical, and I am the voice of Saya Sombra, and Saya is a sack of potatoes, as was quoted from last stream, but hopefully this time, maybe she'll break out and just focus on her drawings.
One person that might have to start focusing a little bit more on their drawings, or at the very least their blueprints, we have our Human Artificer.
Hello there, I am Dusky B. I'm playing Jack with his left-hand Mechanical Man King. Don't have time to work on those prints right now. Got things getting done right now.
And the man of the hour, the man getting things done, is our Furbolg Druid.
Hello everybody, it is your friendly neighborhood Ness here, and I do play our Furbolg Druid, Sonder Elwood, who is currently in complete focus mode, tied his hair up, he's ready to throw down and bring this soul back.
And the one person that is probably going to have the most tied to them if this soul comes back is our human Barbarian Cleric.
Hi everyone, I'm English Ray. I did play the potential person coming back, but currently I'm playing the human barbarian cleric, a miracle. Forgive me, it's been a wild ride.
And one thing that we all have to apologise for, or at least I do, is the dropping of the Discord audio in last session. I've still published the episode so people can watch it if they wish, but this is going to be a full, in-depth recap of what happened last week so that there's no confusion and everyone knows exactly what happened. So, the party travelled up to the third floor of the mansion in Argynvostold. They'd already explored some of the rooms. The third floor is where they had met Sir Gideon after all, and the friendly revenants. They explored multiple rooms, some just bare slates, or having past uses. Another seemed to be a long forgotten and abandoned study, where they were able to find clips and bits and pieces potentially referencing to the world before Strahd took over. The party are now in possession of a parchment that seems to be the last entry of a diary, and for the player's reference, that is in your journals. I have written it up for you, and that is something that you can read whenever you wish. The party then has a conversation with a revenant that is sitting in a throne room in this central portion of the third floor. He warns them that while he hates Strahd, he will actively try to stop anyone that says they wish to kill him, as in this man's mind, it is better for Strahd to stay alive and suffer. Through brilliant persuasion rolls from Jack, they manage to convince the man that they're not trying to kill Strahd. They just simply want to go on a rescue mission and potentially steal some artifacts while they're at it. The Revenant, the ex-Order member of the Order of the Silver Dragon, agreed with the party and said that if they managed to rescue and retrieve the skull of Argynvost, which is somewhere in this castle, then they will have safe passage back to Argynvostholt. That the Revenants will not join in the fight, but they will at least form a rear guard and protect the party from anything that decides to chase them. They accept that deal and take that moment to leave Argynvostholt for good. Followed by Savid, the elven scout that they found bleeding out in the wine storage room. They find that a box has been delivered to the front steps of the mansion. That box is a coffin, and written on the front is an engraving of Serenity's name. Opening up the coffin lid, they find the mutilated body of Austra, Aurora's twin sister, who died over... well, no, it was 10 days ago to the day. In a state of shock, and not knowing where to proceed and go from there, the party pick up the coffin and take it back to Kresk. They plead with the abbot in the hopes that he might be able to do something, he might be able to fix what has gone on. And he's honest with the party. He tells them that he actually doesn't have the power to bring back this person, but he does supply Sonder with the oils and material components needed for a reincarnation spell. And that's actually where we pick up. You have settled down next to the lake in Kresk, the very northernmost point. Sonder is going to be busy for the next hour. Is there anything that the rest of you are going to be doing while you wait?
Jack's just going to set up shop next to Sonder. He's going to give him space, probably about 10 feet. But he's going to be just watching over this, making sure it's going smooth, and if anything starts being weird, he's going to try help him out however he can.
I say at this point, Saya has kind of come back to her senses a little bit. She is... I'm gonna say she's sitting by Amira, her hood over her, covering like her entire face, and she's sitting with her knees against her chest and holding her notebook. She's not gonna talk to anyone or really react to anything. She's just kind of sitting there.
If that was you talking there and you cut out.
It started at the same time as Ray, so I was gonna let Ray go first.
I was just moving my mic.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. You're good. As I say, Aurora was asked to stay close to Sonder, so she'll be sitting like cross-legged beside him, just watching what he's doing, but kind of zoned out. Very, very softly murmuring something to herself in Celestial. It sounds like she's repeating something on a small loop.
If I'm on, say, a sack of potato watch, I will have moved us closer to what was happening. But kind of like Jack, just keeping an eye on things, not doing anything, but just making sure that we're all secure, and is probably also keeping an eye out for the surrounding area, so in case if anything does happen, she can immediately kind of intercept and basically kind of play bodyguard to this moment.
Sonder,
Yes.
do you take the body out of the coffin?
Oh, absolutely. Once we get, like, kind of settled in the area, Sonder, like, very gently, like, lays out his cloak, and puts his backpack at the very top. And he just very gently, like, bridal style, lifts Austra out of the coffin and just very gently lays her out on his cloak.
Mm-hmm.
And he keeps his water skin at his side, because if Austra does wake up, she's probably going to be fucking parched. So he has the water skin by him, and he pulls his hair up into a very messy bun at the back of his skull, just trying to get as much hair out of his face as possible, because he needs to concentrate.
You've got this. You've got it.
Gives Amira kind of like a shaky smile and a thumbs up, just having the, like, incense off to the side and the oils in his hand, with just a resolute nod.
Okay. Sonder. As you begin to prepare the material components, as you begin to dress the body, carving out whichever ritual runes you think are most appropriate in the dirt around Austra, you watch as the earth around you almost begins to react to the spell that you're casting. As the grass itself begins to grow at a very fast pace, wrapping the body up until it's almost fully covered cocoon style. But that's not the end of the preparation, as you hear, all of you, this low frequency rumble. Starts off small, but almost builds to the volume of a landslide, as the earth underneath Austra's body actually bevels. It becomes this ditch that then encloses over itself. So you now can't see the body at all. You just need to hope that the magic is doing what it's supposed to do.
Oh boy.
I think at that moment, when they hear it, Saya just tightens her grip on her notebook.
Sonder is definitely like, he's never done this before, but he's like, okay, that's not what I was expecting, but probably for the best.
The spell has almost made a mound around Austra's body, very similar to the graves that you saw on Yester Hill. Where either way, she's going to be interred. The spell continues is something that Sonder has to fully concentrate on for a full hour. He can't stop for anything. It's constant verbal, semantic, every now and again flicking out more oil when you can see that certain glyphs are becoming strained.
Mhm.
Austra's praying. Saya is gripping onto a notebook like it's a lifeline. The agitation felt by everyone is palpable. Esmeralda begins to pace backwards and forwards like a wild cat in a cage, a lot of pent up energy and nowhere for it to go.
I point to Esmeralda, and then I point as if to say, like, go further away because your pacing could, like, break his concentration. So she just points at Esmeralda and then points, like, a bit of a distance away.
Doesn't acknowledge you, but does begin to give more space to the room. I say the room. You're literally in a field right now. Is there anything that anyone does for the rest of this hour? Okay. Sonder, the hour is up. The magic drains from you. And the glyphs lose all their potency.
Mhm.
You don't know if it's worked or not. You have no idea.
Is Austra's body still wrapped in earth, or did that also recede as the spell faded out?
The top of the earth has started to almost rapidly dry out and crack. So what was first a solid mound is now more of like a dry layer of like a dry clay. You could break it apart very easily.
Sonder will just very shakily get up. His legs are absolutely asleep, but he gets up and immediately starts pulling the clay off. He needs to see if this worked.
Amira will help.
You pull away enough of the top layer until you can see the wrapped body beneath. And it's still... You can't see any movement. Not even the rise and fall of a breathing chest.
Sonder's heart kind of sinks a little bit, but he tries not to be too, I want to say, pessimistic. He just kind of takes a steadying breath and starts, like, pulling at the grass and, like, the reeds to where, like, Austra's face would be.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost, like, frantic, I guess is the best way to put it.
Okay. You begin to tear away at these. They're not anything robust. It is just grasses and vines that have grown. Da, da, da. That'll be why. You should now be able to see things by documents. You tear away at the area that would have been Alstra's face. And the first thing you notice, Sonda, is you remember Aurora telling you that Alstra was her twin. So you aren't expecting the copper-coloured skin that you're met with.
Interesting.
But as soon as you rip away the grass away from the nose, the throat, there is a ragged gasp for air.
As soon as she's, like, moving at all, Sonder just very softly starts cooing in common, because he doesn't know, like, what languages she knows, and it's very, like, hey, it's alright, it's okay. I've got Aurora, you're alright, we're gonna get you out of there, just take some deep breaths, okay?
The breaths are deep, but ragged. To you, I'd say Amira, and Sonder as well, to be fair with your passives, it sounds like the breath of someone that hasn't had to breathe in a while. Like they're having to relearn how to breathe.
Sonder is just absolutely tearing this little cocoon apart, like, as fast as possible, and just constantly muttering to Austra, like, small bits of praise and, like, encouraging statements of just, like, that's it, in and out, you got it, you're doing great, stay right there, and, like, just kind of, like, nudging Amira and, like, flicking his head over to Aurora, like, grab her, please.
Yeah, so I was originally helping Sonda, like, get the mud off, and I just... because I imagine that maybe she's opposite me, so I just gently pick up Aurora's hands so that she'll look at me. Aurora?
Yes.
She's breathing.
Yeah.
Talk to her.
To be fair, Aurora has been paying attention this whole time. She just...
It's the shock thing, so it's just...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when she hears that, though, she will edge closer. And she will start in Celestial. Start trying to talk to her, just like, Austra, it's me. I'm here. You're safe. It's okay.
In fairness to everyone, Austra right now is as reactive as a newborn. Her eyes are shut, her breathing is ragged. But I'd say Sonda, because you are the closest, you would be able to hear her gasping out Aurora's name.
Oh, poor thing.
And for you, Aurora, you can hear this as well. You can hear the gasping. But what hurts the most, I would say, is that her voice is different. She doesn't sound the same. It's not... It is Austra. You know it's Austra. You saw the body going in, but it's those little details that hurt.
I would say, like, as soon as the entire, like, wrap is off of her, Sonder just, like, narrates kind of what he's doing so that even with her eyes closed, Austra can understand what's happening before he does it. And he's just like, "You're doing a great job. I'm going to lift you up now. I'm going to place you very gently on the ground next to your sister. Okay? I'm going under your arm, or under your legs now." And he just scoop and underneath your head. And we're lifting in 3, 2, 1. Just very gently lifts her out and very gently sets her back down.
Now that she is fully away from the wrapping, you can now get a full view of what Austra has become. How tall are the twins?
I
5'5".
think they were. Yeah, I was about to say. I think they were 5'5".
Aurora, she's shorter, slimmer. Definitely has more of a petite build than she had before. Not that there was much on her to begin with. Her skin is this dark copper brown. And her hair is dark brown, almost fading to black. Her eyes, when she eventually opens them and manages to rub whatever is left over of her mud cocoon, when she does open them, are green. So at the very least, that is some leftovers of the time before. Her ears are pointed, and her chin and nose come to very angular points. There is admittedly a moment of freak out when she notices her own skin, when she finally looks at her hands and her arms and doesn't recognize the body that she's in. I'll put it in the Discord server now. This is what you can see.
Oh. I'm guessing she's a wood elf.
Was my guess as well.
Once the existential moment passes, Austra's eyes latch onto Aurora and she begins to, almost like a feral animal, scramble over the dirt, over the grass, and just launches herself at her sister.
Aurora would open her arms, like try and catch her, try and like meet her in like an embrace.
Sisters reunited. Under any other circumstances, this would be a beautiful moment.
I would say as soon as they hug and like are joined together, Sonder kind of like wipes the sweat off of his brow and just shakily like takes a like a scan of the group and just very softly, I think we should give them some time alone. Just to talk for a bit, if nothing else. We should get some food, for Austra when she settles down. She probably hasn't eaten anything solid in quite a bit, so something a bit easy on the stomach would probably be best.
Emira just takes out her rations and leaves her water skin.
Does Kresh have like a, for the lack of a better term, like a market, like anywhere to buy food, to cook or anything?
In fairness, the best way that I can explain it is that because everyone in Kresk is very self-sufficient, there isn't really a market, but you have seen it when you lived here that there was a culture of trading. So if, say, for example, someone's chickens didn't lay enough eggs, they could go round to someone else's house and be like, oh, I'll give you this for some eggs.
Got you. Okay.
So for offering services, you could potentially get food.
Because, yeah, we don't have anything in our inventories that would be, like, good enough. Because I was thinking, like a chicken broth or something, like, more, liquid first to get her used to actually eating human food after probably only having blood for a while. And I can't exactly make that out of thin air. So... how close is the Burgermaster's house, would you say?
I can tell you exactly how close the Burgomaster's house is. It's 550 feet away.
Okay, yeah. Sonder just, like, pushes the grass off of his knees and just speed walks just absolutely single-mindedly towards the Burgermaster's house. And he's kind of, like, got his backpack in front of him, and he's, like, rifling through his backpack, looking for the wolf pelts that they have to see if he can trade some rice porridge or something simple.
Easy enough done. For the sake of time, we'll say that you go to the Burgomaster's house and kind of explain the situation, that you're desperate for some simple food and that you're willing to trade, and the Burgomaster's wife, Anna, immediately, like, tries to wave away your offer, essentially, of a small trade, and just goes, we'll take one of the pelts, and here, please, take this, and she hands over a container that looks essentially like pre-soaked oats.
Okay.
So she's there like, we were making this for tomorrow, but it should be more than fine for someone that needs it right now. Please, take.
He just gives her these, like, best I can describe it is these big, like, wet, thankful eyes. Like, he's so stressed out right now, and he's just like, thank you so much, thank you. And he just, like, gives her, just shoves another wolf pelt in her hand and just turns around and runs out the door. Does not look back at all. Just make sure the lid is on the container and he's fucking booking it.
For everyone that stayed by the spell site, I'll call it, you see Austra clinging to Aurora, like she has essentially found whatever crease in the armor she can get her nails into and is just clinging. Aurora, she is essentially sobbing, and then in between sobs you can hear her saying Rory, like your childhood nickname.
Mm-hmm.
And she is just bawling.
Aurora would just very, very gladly hold her. She's more than likely crying herself now. But just continuing to try to, like, whisper, like, in Celestial, just trying to, like, offer, just like, it's okay, I'm here, it's okay, I'm here.
What is everyone else doing as they're having this moment?
Saya has decided to start drawing, but the drawings are different than what she had been doing, improving. It's kind of like she's gone back to square one. She's essentially trying to draw how she feels, and she doesn't know how she feels. So she's kind of... She'll start something, scratch it out, scribble it out, take the paper, tear it up, and throw it. Because she just doesn't know what she's looking for. And she doesn't dare look up. She doesn't know where she is right now, mentally. But she's keeping to herself. There's a wall up. She's not letting anyone in.
Okay. Eventually there is this lull in the emotions as essentially Austra uses whatever remaining energy she has left to place herself next to Austra does it to go next to Aurora. See? The problems we had at the beginning of this series, it's going to start happening again.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. You can see Austra taking in the bits of her body that she can see. The slender fingers, the darker skin. She can see part of her hair resting on her collarbone, so she lifts it up to inspect it. A little bit sheepishly, she looks to everyone and goes, I know this is ironic coming from me, but does anybody have a mirror?
You know I always have one. And Aurora would very quickly dig through her bag to pull out her little mirror.
There's definitely a moment of taking in her new appearance. Trying to get used to the long pointed ears. Every now and again just poking the end of her nose now that it has this slight pixie upturn. Studying every corner, taking in this new persona. There seems to be this light bulb moment as she moves aside the the hemline at the top of the dress to look at where her birthmark used to be. And Aurora, you can immediately see the difference in her expression. You look tastefully at where the birthmark used to be, and it isn't there anymore.
She looks a little crestfallen at that, but is temporary, like for the moment, just more glad of like, I have my sister back.
The revelation at the birthmark being gone brings new tears out of Austra. But the lack of energy, you could tell that if she had energy, she'd be sobbing. But she's now on that last dreg of energy, so it's just free-falling tears.
She'll go back to holding her and just, you're still beautiful. You're still my sister.
In a very dry and sad tone, you just hear a mumbled, "At least they can tell us apart now."
She'll get a small, like, slightly dry chuckle in response. Yeah, I guess they can.
You would notice Aurora that she doesn't have anything, in the sense of you found her in a coffin in a very nice white dress, but that's all she had on her.
So some gear shopping will be in order.
Well, you do have some of her gear on you.
True.
But yes, there is potentially going to need to be filling in.
How tall is Austra now?
You haven't stood up to fully check, but there's at least, Aurora, you'd be able to tell, like, there's a couple of inches between you now. She's shorter than you now.
Okay, so she's roughly kind of the same height as Amira now. Because Amira has armor that she doesn't wear.
Well, Aurora needs to go through her bag, see what she's got.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Aurora really has much to spare in terms of gear.
Amira
she-
very quietly, not drawing attention, pulls out scale mail, pulls out a long sword, pulls out the fire breathing equipment and just leaves it.
If Aurora notices, she'll just kind of mouth out like, thank you.
Just a nod and then just backs away.
I'd say at that point, Sonder's probably making it back with the oats.
You can probably see him, like, just absolutely hauling ass. A good portion of his hair has fallen out of the bun now, and it's, like, curling around his face. And he is very flushed from running as fast as possible. And you can probably hear him just panting as he's coming closer. I would say he definitely like stops running before he gets close to them because he doesn't want to freak Austra out with any like loud noises or sudden movements. So he kind of stops, like I want to say 50 feet before the small little camp that they set up, and he kind of like bends over a little bit, like one hand on his knee, just like breathing as deeply as he can, and just like taking a couple deep breaths before he just wobbly makes his way over to the group. Like his knees are wobbling, his tail is flicking out, trying to keep his balance. As he comes around to the group in a way where Austra and Aurora can see him coming, where he's not gonna like sneak up on them or anything. And he just kind of like, he's still a bit winded, but he stops, I want to say, about like 10 feet or so away from the two. And he just like, I got her some easy food, for when she feels like it. And my water skin's here, so, no rush. I just wanted her to have something for her stomach. I need to lie down.
Thank you, Sonder. Aurora would go get the food from him. Just maybe we should get indoors now. Get her out of the outside.
He kind of just gives Aurora a very shaky thumbs up and just full spread eagle lays down on the floor, like with his eyes closed as he's just trying to regain his breath.
Yeah, Aurora full. I'm just gonna watch. Just like, yeah, lay down. Lay down. Rest. And she'll take the food to Austra. I've got food. When do you think you want to eat? Sonder brought it, but we have food for you.
There's a very quiet thank you as she reaches up to take the container from you.
Are you gonna need help eating?
And sheepishly smiles, goes, no, but let's see if I keep it down.
Yeah. Sonder has a water skin for you too. And when you're ready, we can introduce you to the rest of the group.
I think I remember the basics of being a person. And she gingerly pushes herself up to a new standing position.
Aurora will be like right there, kind of moving with her, of like, if you need help, right here. Do you want to get inside?
I just want somewhere to eat in peace and sit that's not on grass. And she just looks down at the back of the white dress that is now just stained green because she's been sat on wet grass.
Fair. I'm not sure where to take her. Beyond like the burgomaster. or like the little like pond that like Jack and everyone went to the first time.
You're already right next to that.
Okay, fair. Yeah, there. I can't remember. There was no bench or anything near there, was there?
There is a gazebo.
Okay, she will help her to the gazebo.
She immediately sits on the bench that is front lit by the sun, and you can see her just almost basking in it. I'm going to leave the scene there for now, as we jump back to the Burgomaster's house. Jack, you stayed there to start prepping some form of a dinner. And they let you. You've been more than helpful to them. Their son is running around you, like, asking all sorts of questions. When you hear a knock on the door.
Jack, it's not his house, but he'll answer it.
Mm.
Try to be kind.
You were, in fairness, the closest to the door. I think the only one that beats you is the young son. Just because he runs over to the door, but he doesn't answer it. You see that he's had a little bit of lessons built into him. But yeah, you open the door and you are met with the face of someone that you don't recognize. What do they see at the door?
Oh. Parts of it looks familiar, and yet the body itself appears to be a bit different. The skin itself is almost like pale marble white. Etched into the skin itself, there's these serpentining tattoos, almost like arcane symbols that just almost seem like they've been forced into the skin because some pact made in the long past. Crawling up the neck and coils beneath the edges of a dark blue sleeve hooded shirt. One that you've seen before, though this one seems tattered, dark, dirtied. It's no longer the bright blue. What you would assume were tears dripping down from the eyes are blood red, and they are unmoving. You assume these two have been tattooed or etched into the skin. As you kind of follow the tattoos up into where normal people's eyes and pupils would be, these eyes have no pupil, and in fact are completely blacked over. This is someone different, and yet is an embodiment of Azazel. Broken, tattered, and completely void of any smile or joy that they may once have had. Where are
I did not hear that last part. What was that?
Where are they?
They is in.
The message that was sent to me.
Gonna have to be a bit more specific. You're being very vague right now, and I'm not sure who you are.
And there's an annoyance against him, and he'll bring his hands up into the air, show his teeth, though it's not really a smile, but just kind of the white teeth beneath the lips, and goes, "See nothing in my hands. Ring a bell." Gods, you really are fucking stupid, aren't you?
Well, I got good news. She's alright. They're over by the pond.
Bit of a puzzled kind of look that in his face when you say they're fine. Now you're speaking riddles.
We got to the abbot. We were able to get some material, and Sonder was able to bring him back. They're not 100% the same, but they're alive. They're back.
Just gonna turn around and just go where you told him.
Just
That's where I'll head to him.
Close the door.
Okay.
If I may, as you're closing the door, you'll kind of hear him call out, "I'm done waiting. You playing these games, things like this happen. No more. No more being a coward." Do you respond?
Nope.
I thought that.
Okay. Everyone begins to gather around the gazebo, either to sit in the sun What is... Because Austra and Aurora sat in the gazebo. Austra is now eating from the pot of prepared oats that's going around. What is everyone else doing?
I would say after Sonder has kind of caught his breath a little bit, he's still giving, like, the sisters space. Like, if they need to talk about something private, or they just want to be close to each other. He's probably sat, like, in front of the gazebo with his back kind of turned to them, facing forward. I want to say about, like, 10 feet away, giving them just some privacy. And he's kind of checking his components pouch. He's let his hair out, so it's free falling down his back. He's kind of making sure that he grabbed his cloak and everything. He's taking inventory, kind of just trying to keep busy to give them some privacy.
Okay. I'd say that because you're the one that is unoccupied, Amira, it's you that sees the person first.
Okay.
You can see them walking up one of the trailheads, coming towards the northern end of town.
So they coming towards us?
Mm-hmm.
What, making a beeline for us, or?
Well, they're still following the path. They could be just heading to the northern end of Kresk, but they've passed the fork in the road that would lead them up to the Abbey, so they are definitely heading in your direction.
Do I recognize them?
Not from this distance. It's daylight, but it is just a man walking towards you wearing a hood.
I'm keeping a very close eye. Because, okay, the gazebo, how many entrance points are there?
1.
I'm standing in that entrance point, and I'm trying to look nonchalant. But, will definitely kind of be alert, like, hands on axes kind of thing. But trying to pass it off as being, like, a bit breezy. But, yeah, if this person comes closer or starts on, like, the single path that comes down to us, she will absolutely go up to intervene and, like, try to stop them from getting closer.
Okay. After a certain point, they leave the path. They are no longer walking as if they could be going anywhere else. They are definitely coming towards you.
Definitely don't draw attention to myself, but I do just walk towards them. Like, say, hands on the weapons. Which is funny, because 5'3" teenager. Axes.
Are you walking past Sonder while you do this?
There's no way that you couldn't if you were stood in the doorway of the gazebo.
Yeah, as soon as Amira, like, walks past him, he definitely kind of, like, looks at her with a little bit of a question, looks out and sees the person, and kind of immediately goes on high alert as well.
Though. I'm first line of defense, you're second.
He gives Amira this look, like, it's a bit of like the pinched eyebrow, but he nods and he moves far enough away from the gazebo that, like, he can wild shape if he needs to without, like, getting in the way of anybody. But he absolutely, like, makes a, like, like, clearing of the throat, and just kind of, like, points his head towards the person coming their way, and just gets up and stands in a bit of a defensive position in front of the gazebo.
Aurora's not moving, but she's now kind of like watching with interest.
It's definitely you who would see it first, Amira. Because you are physically walking up and interposing yourself. You see the gentleman in front of you.
Do I recognize?
Well, as was described, there's bits you recognize and bits that you don't.
What would I have to roll to connect the dots, or do I just connect the dots?
Clothing all remains the same. It's more of the tattoos, the color of the skin, the eyes. The clothing, all it's basically done is, it basically looks like someone's just crawled out of purgatory, so just dirt and grime.
Okay.
So if you could put dirty clothing and a different body inside of it, maybe. You're calling that one.
No, she noticed similarities, and there are just, like, slight differences. The hands loosen on the weapons. Looked a little, like, confused and puzzled. Azazel?
Move.
No.
Yep. DM, why did Forge close? I would like to know why Forge closed. Computer. That is not nice. I'm gonna go ahead and use my Shadow Leap ability, throw a dagger into the gazebo, and teleport to it.
Okay, roll a d8.
Try to block it.
No, that's
I just
not
did
how
the
to
Misty
do.
Step.
Yeah,
Give me 1 second because apparently.
I can roll a d8
Forge-
for you if you want.
Please. Because I don't know why it completely took me out.
You teleport 30 feet past. So you're not at the gazebo, but you're now in between Sonder and Amira.
That's fine. I got past the one I needed to. I'm just going to keep walking.
Oh,
If I get. Yeah.
As soon as the teleport happens, Sonder immediately gets in a battle stance. And he's just like, Azazel, you've been around him enough. He absolutely gets in this stance of like, I'm going to fucking eat you if you come any further.
Move, big brain.
You all begin to hear, there's no other word of putting it than panic coming from the gazebo as Aurora, you're completely taken off guard as Austra reaches out, draws your sword, and then begins to, threaten Azazel with it. It puts herself between you and him, and all you can all hear is from Austra's throat, "Don't trust a word he says!" As she's now shaking from adrenaline and panic, just like holding out this long sword.
Thea would snap up and look up and get up and approach.
Aurora's gonna try and gently move in front of Austra, like hands raised and like the placating, like it's so easy.
Oh, every time you try, she just like pushes herself in front of you. No.
Move.
Sonder definitely looks at him with a bit of surprise, but he like reaches out a hand to put on Azazel's shoulder, and he kind of just like, you need to talk first. I know that you can talk fast, but just, everyone's terrified. Just say something other than move, maybe, please?
I'm not here for you.
Are you going to hurt Austra?
He just continues to stare at you. The best because you're a druid, and I feel like you would kind of get this. You know how a shark's eyes are like void.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best way you can see inside of his eyes. It was like a pure predator.
Yeah. Does Azazel allow Sonder to touch him?
Yeah, you could put your arm on his shoulder. It's cold to the touch. He's sopping wet.
He definitely, like... I want to see what I have.
While that's happening, DM, if possible, I'd like to have Saya use Misty Step herself to appear in front of Aurora and Austra.
Okay.
Although Saya's still like shut off and void, she knows that she has to protect the party. So even if it may not be Austra, she's protecting Aurora. But I'm going to cast that, so That's my last second level spell slot. But she'll turn with her hood up and she's glaring.
Sonder kind of puts both hands on Azazel's shoulders. I know things are scary right now, so I need to know what's going on in your head. We can't trust anybody, and I need to know that that's you, and I need to know that nobody is going to get hurt.
I ever hurt any of you?
No.
Then move.
You can speak with all of us right here. You can say what you have to say. Right here. Please, just talk. Don't do anything.
I teleport however many I can go 80 feet to him.
Yeah, you can. So you can move past
Does it-
Sonder.
Question, if I'm, like, holding him, does it still work?
You'd have to be fully, like, restraining him. So, for it to not work.
Damn it, because I was going to cast Entangle too. Fuck.
I know. Why do you think I did that first?
Counter question.
Mm.
Would there have been any time for Amira to have gotten up behind him while he was talking
Yeah.
and then grapple him?
Yeah, potentially. Because he was only 30 feet away. So it's very easy to close the distance. Okay. Yeah. Amira, roll an athletics check.
Acrobatics, I'm assuming to you.
Athletics or acrobatics for you.
Well, fuck, he's gonna win this.
A non-natural 20.
Yeah. So
Me.
you feel Amira closing the distance, and you know that you need to do it now. You need to do it quick. As you're reaching out to try and restrain him, the wrist flicks out and another dagger flies by. As this...
I don't want to be... I want to... If I can, because I know Saya went in front, I would like to throw the dagger, if I don't know if the distance is enough, where I'm not adjacent to the two on the to the two sisters. I want to be about like just one square away, essentially, so 10 foot away behind everybody.
The gazebo isn't that big of a structure, so you could be like on the front steps and still have that space between you.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I just want to get kind of... Everyone's in my way, and I need them to get out of my way because I need to see her.
Well, what you see is Saya in front of a figure that you don't recognize. But she's holding out a sword and pointing it at you.
And that's why I need to get behind, is I don't know where she is. She's supposed to be here and alive. Where is she? And that's why I'm teleporting past everybody to try to find them. So I should say the single sister. I said the two sister. I know that. He doesn't. So my apologies in the way I was throwing it down. And as soon as he teleports, he's gonna just be ignoring the woman on the ground with a sword, looking to fucking words, Aurora, and just trying to find her sister. And you can see him just looking, just paying no attention to the random person on the ground.
Well, she's not on the ground. She's in between. So it's almost a layered formation. So it's Saya in front, and then standing behind Saya is the random woman, like, brandishing a longsword at you that you don't recognize.
Copy that.
And then behind that is Aurora, and it looks like Aurora keeps trying to, like, move around the woman, but at every opportunity she's adjusting herself so that Aurora stays behind.
Yeah, I'll just teleport all the way in and just be looking around for Austra. Where is she?
Who? Azazel. My sister?
His like head will jerk up to you.
Are you looking for my sister?
The woman that you don't recognize, Azazel, just almost in hysterics, just adjusts the sword so it's not pointed at Saya, but it's definitely like in your direction and almost like a pinpoint line between you and Aurora, and just yells, "Stay away from her!"
May
Is she?
How
Go for it.
oh rip.
I want to know how far Azazel is from Saya.
Well, he said that he wanted to leave a square in between everyone, so he's 10 feet away from you.
Okay.
Fireball.
You're reading my mind. That's exactly what I'm planning.
Fireball is going to get everybody
Yeah.
in the gazebo killed.
I didn't
So-
ask how big the room is. I said I cast fireball.
No, in this case, she just puts up her hands. She's not going to cast Fireball, but nobody else knows that. And she just kind of says, take one more move, and you're going to die.
Before I say anything, Sandra, I know you were trying to say something.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how far away is Sonder?
Well, that's the beauty of this thing, is that he teleported 80 feet away, which you can technically get to in, like, 12 seconds. So...
Yeah, Sonder's gonna run up and, cast Hold Person on Azazel.
Okay, then. Azazel, we're going to need a wisdom save, if I remember correctly? Yes, wisdom
I
saving
think
throw.
it's wisdom. What's your DC?
DC is, if I can find it, 17.
Go ahead and use a lucky point. Ooh, damn. Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah. Azazel, you're locked in place.
Understood.
Sonder is kind of just has his arm held out with like the ethereal kind of magic glowing around his arm. And just nobody is doing anything until we get answers. Instead of barging past people, Azazel, who are obviously terrified, who have no clue what's going on, maybe you should talk like you normally do. And Sonder kind of turns to Amira. We need to check if he's being compelled or not. We don't know where he's been. We don't know if he's being affected by any other magic. Your mic keeps popping in and out and making a god-awful sound.
I am so sorry.
To roll another save at this point.
Um,
It's every round, I believe.
it is every round. We will give everyone a chance to do something, and then you can roll. So that is Sonder talking, and he's cast the spell. So that is technically Sonder done for this 6 seconds.
Yeah, that's that past turn.
What would we roll to see if he's bewitched or
Arcana.
something?
Or if you've got a detect magic spell.
I do not have that spell.
A.
As far as you can sense, you can only sense the spell that Sonder is using.
Nothing on him. He's not being spelled. And at that point, probably seeing how shaking Alstra is, and knowing what Azazel is, will cast protection from evil and good on her, and will pick Faye, because like, we know that, right? We know he's a changeling.
Yeah.
Did we not know that? I thought we knew that. I thought I was
No, you
common
do.
knowledge.
You do.
Everybody knows that.
You do. It's been very clear.
Don't write that message and confuse me. Jesus.
You made it sound like he was some like creature. Like, I know what he is. So I'm like, what do you mean? I'm a real boy.
Like, we know that you're American. Like, dude, like, hell. It's not that deep.
No, the way you said it was insulting.
Well, that's your interpretation. And I take no responsibility for how you know, take things on your head. So,
Wait, now what?
how you interpret it is none of my business.
No, it was the head part. Continue. I'm just fucking with you. So you're
Fucking
6
hell, that's
seconds.
slow. Okay, so cast that on Alstra, selecting Faye.
I mean, you don't need to select. They're just protected from all of those.
Yep.
Oh, I thought you had to select it. Okay, no, my bad. I didn't read it properly. Okay, cool. Well, that's that one. And that's for 10 minutes, so... Azazel, now's the time that we use our words.
Now's the time that I'm a fucking held person and can't, bitch.
Help person, he can't talk.
Really?
Yeah, because they're paralyzed.
No, I'm paralyzed. That's like,
That's
we need
why-
to talk. Bitch, I can't.
That's why Sonder is going to let go of the spell once everybody has actually readied themselves. Because he's like, Azazel, fucking explain yourself or I'm gonna bite you.
Okay, Amira will also pass off her shield to Alstra. So she has sword and board. Because girl's got no freaking armor on. So here's a shield and just has battle axe and a hand axe ready.
But by the way, out of character, let me know
Yeah.
when Saya can do her bragging rights, because, you know, I'm just been waiting all series for this.
Yes, you're very smart. Well done. Round of applause.
Thank you.
Also, where is Esmeralda in all of this is my question.
Yeah.
In all
That's a
fairness,
valid question.
piloting many NPCs, I forgot about Esmeralda.
That's so fair.
I'm going to say that up until this point, there was very much a stunned, like, wait, what the fuck is going on? Like, she's trying to catch up to everything. Like, she hasn't connected all the dots yet. Because she didn't know Azazel. She only knew Serenity. So now that this new person has come in. She's like, wait, who the fuck are you? And then it's obvious that, like, oh, okay, you know this person. And once that ball has kind of started rolling, she comes up with rapier in one hand, hand axe in another, and it's just completely laser focused on Azazel.
Aurora's gone.
I was going to say, there's definitely a clinical look in her eyes. It's the optician, not the optician. It's the mortician being like, where do I cut to make a clean incision down the center? Like, it's very much like sizing up a piece of meat.
Aurora is going to spend her 6 seconds still trying to gently, like, insert herself between Austra and Azazel, just still looking at Azazel, just, what is going on? Talk to me.
And then for Austra's 6 seconds, she's going to again reimpose herself so that you are still behind her, and using her 6 seconds, going to say, in front of everyone, he's here to finish what he started. Putting me in a coffin the first time wasn't enough.
That's gonna set me off.
Wisdom saving throw, please.
Yes. Uno wisdoms. Oh, wait. Oh, it doesn't matter. It's the same thing. I did a wisdom check the other times. Oh, natural 20.
Oh, god damn it.
And with that, Azazel breaks free of the spell drops, and Sonder, you would feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Hearing Alstra, if I may have my 6, well, it might be, yeah, it'll be 6 seconds, sure, fuck it. His eyes are gonna whip to her, and you can see him, like, kind of, it's very obvious he's trying to figure out who this person is, and am I able to piece things together with her saying that?
I would say that the thing that pieces it together for you is that she's wearing the same dress that Austra's body was wearing.
Okay. What happened? It's almost like the dog head kind of tilt, and he's just head to toe, back and forth on Astra. I guess that would be my 6 seconds. If we're doing initiative style.
I can say that we come out of initiative style now that there seems to be no combat, but we'll put it back in initiative if conflict comes up.
You can see, once he finally pieces it kind of together, the tattooed blood tears coming from the eyes, you can see it looks like they're moving, and then you realize the actual tears are kind of coming from the eyes. The eyes are still blacked over, they're glazed. There's nothing there but a void, but you can see water now tearing from them as he kind of brings up like a hand, almost like to reach out towards her, and like kind of takes like a very unbalanced step, which is uncharacteristic of him, towards her. I want to wait and see if people react or do something to that before I continue.
Yeah, I would. I don't want you moving. So, tracking grass, I don't want you moving.
So you're moving within melee range of me?
Yes.
I believe it's an attack roll.
Mm-hmm. I've moved Serenity's token up so you can target that, and then just roll to hit.
Uh, 16 will hit.
Okay, roll damage.
I can use reaction. What reaction?
Probably...
That one. Yeah, I'm not gonna use it.
Okay, 4 damage.
4. It didn't apply. I'll do it. Oh, now I applied. There we go. Yeah.
So it doesn't stop you
Can't
from...
take reactions.
It doesn't stop you from moving,
No.
but it does take away your reactions.
But it does, and there'll be, you can see the volt electricity. It's impossible to kind of withstand that. So you see his body constrict for a moment as his arms crink in. He goes up to his toes, knuckles squeeze. You see his knuckles start whitening, blood leaving from it as it kind of drops. His eyes whip to you, but then immediately kind of goes back to who we kind of figure out to Alstring. You can see his lip begins to kind of quiver. There's not words coming out, but you see he's trying to say something. Are you hitting me again?
No.
Is somebody else going to hit me?
No, but Aurora is continuing to try to get past Austra to get to Azazel.
I will say something though. She'll look at him and go, "What did you do?" Everyone trusted you. What did you do?
I'm so... I'm sorry. It's because of me. It's all my fault. Everyone. It's TS. Everybody. It's all my fault. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm not gonna let it happen again. No. No, this will not happen again. We'll see what happens. He's going to turn and try to walk for the exit. Do your worst.
Saya's gonna get in front of him.
He'll stop, but he's looking through you. It's his mouth, teeth chattering. It's like, it almost looks like he's freezing, but it's just a million words and a million thoughts all intermixing.
Did you do something to TS and Valdis and Austra?
Stupid. Tell you what I would do. How dare you do what I would do?
I'll tell you what you did. You joined Strahd.
Is that true?
Power. I need more. I'm intentionally trying to make it a little bit harder to hear exactly what he's saying. If I'll make key points a little bit easier to understand. Sorry. He's gonna die. I'm gonna kill him. He thinks this is a game. It wasn't. Now he's gone too far.
In that instant, Saya's going to grab Azazel and start walking away from the group. And she's gonna look at everyone else. She's about to do something crazy. She's gonna look at everyone and goes, "Don't!" Like, telling everyone not, and she will push Azazel in front of her.
Sure, I'm interested where this is gonna go. Let's do it. That's me talking, not him.
Sonder is definitely nearby. He's as close as Saya is willing to let him be.
It's not very close at all.
He's... The best way I
30
can
feet
describe
radius.
it is that he's looking at Azazel like he's trying to dissect him. Like, trying to piece together what's going on. Because the ramblings, the, like, talking under the breath, he's kind of, like, trying to approach the situation like Azazel's a rabid animal, is the best way to put it. He's keeping his eyes kind of trained on Azazel in his movements. But he's not in, like, a combative stance much. He kind of has his arms out to his sides. And he has this look of, like, sadness and a bit of determination kind of set in his jaw. But he stays as close as he possibly can. Because he doesn't want, like, Saya to fucking kill him or anything. So he's on high alert.
Mira would probably move next to Sonder, just seeing how he's acting and just being there to kind of back him up.
You betrayed everyone, didn't you?
I'm gonna kill him.
You didn't care. Everyone else was all for you. Not me, though. I never was.
Did what I would do.
Yeah? Well, I'll make sure you don't do anything anymore. Even if I have to take myself down with you. And she'll push him again further.
Yeah, send it.
And everyone. This is going to be in front of everyone. She's casting Fireball, and she's dropping it on both of them.
That's not necessary. You can push me far enough away and cast that.
No.
Actually, you could be right. Continue. I was gonna say you could stand right in front of me and cast it behind me to where only I get lit up. It's your call. Your call on that.
She's gonna take both of them down.
Okay.
All right.
Deck save, both of you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
30 saving throw. What's your DC?
My DC is 15.
It's 15.
Okay. Azazel, you take no damage.
Yeah.
Say you're going to take
Can I-
half. Roll
Can I just
86.
grab it, DM?
Sure.
So, say just because you're right up in front of me, I want to describe it for the group, and then what you see. So obviously you all see the fireball cast. It's set directly beneath us as the flames kind of engulf. You see Azazel snap out of it for a pure second, and his eyes kind of move up to straight to Sayus, sees the fireball, and then does this kind of weird movement of, it's like a blink of an eye where he does like this martial arts move where he'll just almost like it looks like he's gonna sweep the legs for Seiya, but actually doesn't, and almost flattens himself to where the fireball explosion actually goes off right above him, taking 0 damage, and then it comes right back up. And then for you, Seiya, when you see it looks like he's been staring at you this whole time as you feel the flames begin to burn your skin, and he's just there untouched. This is why I didn't want you to cast it on yourself. I'm probably not gonna take damage from your fireballs.
She
I'm a rogue.
she would scream. She would scream from the fire.
You need
literally.
to roll a d6 and take half.
Yeah. You need to roll the fireball damage.
Oh no, honey, you can do it at the bottom where
honey.
you can do it
Sorry.
like individually.
You're taking half of 8d6. There you go. That's not bad. That's rolled really shitty. I'm so happy for you. You got 3 1s. I am so proud of you. That's the one time to roll low. If I can have a why did I roll?
How much is
Okay,
that? How much is half of that?
23 is 11.
DM, can you can you reverse that damage onto me? For some reason I took all of it.
Yes, it's because you're the one selected right now. So if I...
I could do it manually if that's easier.
That should have done it?
Negative, I'll do it manually, it's fine.
Yeah.
I remember what was that. There we go. At that... hold on, I'm trying to find the words for this.
Why did that... Ignore the shocking grass. That wasn't supposed to happen. I don't know why that happened.
I don't deserve to die from you. And he looks at that else. He said, I don't deserve to die from you.
To say it, right?
Yes, yeah, you're right in front of him. And he looks up to say something to Alstra, and his mouth opens, and nothing kind of comes out. And he looks to Aurora, and there's just nothing. And he'll just turn and just begin to walk.
Aurora's going to.
Sorry, I just saw Saunders' message. Continue.
Aurora's going to look at Austra. I will be right back. I promise. And she's going to misty step out to Azazel as close as she can get.
You do manage to misstep. There's no way of stopping that. But Austra immediately starts following you, just going, no, 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 no! So, you already have a tail. You better be quick.
She is going to grab Azazel and hug him.
Ooh. Sorry, I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting something else. Are you are you hugging from behind, or do you like pull him around where he's facing you and hug?
She'd pull him around so he's facing her.
His arms don't come up. He just looks past you and kind of see Austra moving quickly towards both of you. And he just goes, let her think what she needs to think. It's my fault. It's my fault. I did it. But I'm going to become powerful. I'm going to turn into something that can bring that creature down. I'll become exactly what it is needed.
What's needed is for you to be you.
No, it's not enough.
It is.
I'm going to prove her right if you don't let me go.
She will move her hands, but she will move them to gently cup his face, just trying to kind of get him to focus on her.
He does.
What's needed is you here with the rest of us, Zazel.
How far is Alstra?
Well, because you stopped to talk, she's now there. Because you didn't go that far, and then you stopped to talk and hug. So she's already on you too. So I will say that, Aurora, you have probably the equivalency of like a full turn of free speech to say what you're going to say before Alstra tries to do something about it.
Do I have the same?
Yeah.
Ladies first.
Guiding stars. I want to be your guiding star.
Oh. Trying to word it in un momento. I want that too. But I need to be more than just what I want. And I will go ahead and use my action, throw a dagger, and teleport. Don't know why my dice are see-through for me, but that's an interesting thing. 30 feet. That sucks balls.
I mean, yeah, you teleport away.
Yeah, and I'm just going to leave.
Okay. You feel a wrist. No, you feel a wrist. That's not how that works. You feel a hand close around your wrist, Aurora, and there is a forceful tugging in the opposite direction.
She doesn't fight it, but her fingers do curl in the empty air, like where he had just been. But she does let Austra grab her.
And you will watch as Azazel begins to essentially walk off with the sunset hitting him on the left side of the face.
Question.
I do have one after.
Hmm?
Is the fire from the fireball still burning?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I would say Sonder is kind of at the very edge. Like, he's absolutely shaking as he kind of just, like, he's dancing around the edge, like, kind of weighing his options before he fully just covers his arms and runs straight into the fire to grab Saya. Because she's still in there.
Does Amira have time to do a bonus action to use a channel divinity to get a second level spell slot, and then use that second level spell slot to cast Gust of Wind to extinguish the flames?
Yeah, I'll say that with all the talking that happened, you can have been doing that in the background.
Awesome. Okay. So,
Mm-hmm.
If I may, because the last thing that Aurora said ticked something, I would like to use my psychic whispers, and I will choose only Aurora
Mm-hmm.
for that. And I'm going to message Aurora privately, and I'll send you what I say if that's allowed by you.
That is more than fine by me.
Thank you.
So yeah, between Sonder grabbing Saya and Amira casting Gust of Wind, you are able to subdue, thankfully, what wouldn't have become too bad of a fire because you are in essentially a clearing. The only thing that really caught on fire was the grass that was around you.
it's because he's scared of fire. And Amira will follow Sonda to go grab Saya.
No, literally, as soon as Sonder, like, actively reaches Saya, it's literally in the blink of an eye, he's grabbed Saya by her arms and shoved her into his chest hard enough for her nose to hurt. And he's kind of wrapped himself around her, and he is violently shaking as he is just kind of like curled around her. And Saya can absolutely hear his heartbeat like hammering in his chest as he has like basically got a death grip on her.
She would have been staring in his direction before being pulled in, and is just standing there and going, Sonder, you're fine. Everything's fine. You're fine. And she'll kind of take whatever free hand she has and like rub his back.
Yeah, she's basically being squished into him as hard as physically possible, to where, like, it won't hurt her. But it's very much like his tail is wrapped around her leg. He is fully, like, wrapped himself around her. And I would say she can kind of hear the little pitter-patter of tears as, like, his chest starts shaking, and she can tell that he's trying to, like, hold back sobs. And he is just fully caged around her. He's not fucking letting her go.
Sorry. I forgot you were afraid of fire. I wasn't trying to make you scared.
Saya, you got cold hands, right?
Yeah?
Hold his hands.
She does exactly that. She holds his hands.
It's definitely a bit awkward because Saunders' hands are kind of like, the best way to describe it is because Saunder is very tall. His arms kind of wrap completely around Saya. So she would put like her hands on what would be like her hips, basically. That would be her like covering Saunders' hands. But he's just kind of like in between like the like hitches in breath. He's just kind of babbling in Elvish. and is just very much like, I could have lost you, don't do that again. I'm like, I can't protect you, I can't help you, and just kind of devolving into, please don't leave me.
Her eyes widen because she's never actually seen Sonya like that before, at least not with her. So she'll say she'll talk back in Elvish to him, and she'll just say, "You're hugging so tight, I can't leave you." Like that's all she'll say. And then just be like, "I'm right here."
I would say it definitely takes a while for Sonder to actively, like, calm down enough. But he does. And, like, he kind of, like, pushes Saya's hood off and is just, like, gently, like how you would, I guess, like, handle a flower. He's just very gently cupping Saya's face with, like, his hands shaking as he's just absolutely, like, sobbing, and is just, like, cooing to her softly in broken Elvish as he's, like, running his hands, like, over her hair, and he's, like, touching her face and touching her neck, like, making sure that she's physically still there.
Yeah. She lets him do all that. She'll wince a little bit from her burns. And she goes, "I just wanted to kill him for what he did to Astra, TS, and Valdez, whatever he did. Especially if he's working with Strahd. I was right the whole time. I just want him dead." Even if it meant taking myself out of the picture with him. And she'll try to move her head to look over at Amira. And be like, "Hugging really, really tightly."
Okay. Hey, Sonder, you're gonna have to release her a little bit so that we can get her into the water to help her. And, you know, she may be kind of half dead, but she needs to breathe.
Amira, I can't swim, remember?
I'm not gonna let you drown. I've got you, but we need to get you into some cool water. Because... Ouch! And I can't... My healing doesn't work on you. So... And just very, like, carefully and gingerly, just... pry... Sonder's hands just a little bit, just so there's, like, a bit of space, and so, like, Saya can breathe a little easier. But we'll also just kind of, like, herd them towards the gazebo because there's water in there.
Yeah, if she would try having Sonder go into the water with Saya.
Well, you definitely won't drown, because man's tall, and he's got you.
Yup. Yup. That's what I figured.
I would say it's very much like Sonder does let up on his grip, so it's not like crushing anymore. And he kind of has his head tilted down a little bit, and he's got a very like 100-yard stare is the best way to put it. But he absolutely, like, if nothing else, he will absolutely keep his tail wrapped around Saya. Like, either her arm or her waist. So, like, she can be tended to, but he's still touching her, if that makes sense.
Amira will direct you to kind of hold your hands, like, under her back to support her. And so that way she can lie flat in the water. And Amira will just, like, gently, like, use her hands to cup the water over the burns. Just to try and, like, soothe them a little bit. So you're basically acting as, like, her floaty device.
Absolutely.
Just like, we're all okay. We're in water. There's no fire. And we're nice and cool. And it's calm. And it's peaceful. And it's just say that kind of stuff. Did Sonder ever... I have a memory, and I don't know if it's right or not, of Sonder singing, like, an elvish lullaby.
He
Like
has
when-
definitely sung a lullaby, but it didn't have any words to it. It was just like humming.
She starts humming that. Just as she's tossing water over Saya. Like some weird baptism.
Oh my god.
You are born again, child. Live, live.
The power of whatever God compels thee to heal.
To kind of ease Sonder a little bit, she'll take, because he's still like holding onto her, right?
Yeah, it's just less death grip. It's still like he would be holding like underneath her back, but his tail is kind of like wrapped around an arm, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. So she's gonna lean up to him and just kind of give him a kiss on the cheek and be like, "It's okay. I'm right here. It's okay."
He kind of gives her a facsimile of a smile. Like the corner of his lip twitches up. But that's about it.
Yeah, it was more just to be like, I'm here as like a friend thing, like kiss on the cheek.
I'm alive, I promise.
Pretty much. And then she's gonna look over at Amira and go, I don't want him back here. So, something's wrong. Something's very wrong with him.
Yeah, clearly. Did you see his face?
I did.
But it could also be guilt. Like, maybe he was trying to do the right thing, and maybe he was only pretending to be in Strahd to get the information, to get back to us, to help us. But then obviously, things went wrong. Really, really wrong. And... God, that girl. And, like, you can physically, like, see the, like, colour or what is there just drain a little bit. She paid the ultimate price because his plan backfired. But we don't know. Either way, that That was not normal Azazel. But she's also insisting that he joined Strahd. That it was his fault. And at this point, it's kind of, who do you believe?
I believe Astra.
I didn't know her.
I know. The only ones who do are me and Aurora. And Azazel.
It's clear to see she has strong feelings about this. But it's also clear he isn't right. And I checked, there was no spells or charms or anything. So he was acting purely as, air quotes, himself?
Shocked as well. I thought Astra died along with TS. And she's... I've been trying to find how I feel about it, but I can't distinguish it.
Try colors. Or weather. Or even food. Because there are like some food that you taste and you're just like, that's good food. And then there's other food that you taste and you're like, that is awful, never again. And those are kind of feelings. And the same with colors and weather. You know, like being in the cold. It makes you go into like survival, and so that could be fear. If you're in the rain, you're wet through, and that could be sadness, because nobody is happy when you are soaking wet. And then in the sun, maybe, it's on your face, it's a great day, you're having fun, and so that could be happy. Don't try to push yourself to identify an emotion just by its emotion, because you'll work yourself crazy doing it. Take baby steps. Attribute it to a food, attribute it to a weather, attribute it to a color. And then from there, you can build.
And just as Amira had said, when Saya was trying so hard on her notebook, it is destroyed. It is completely destroyed. Papers everywhere, crumpled up. There's nothing left of it anymore, because she couldn't figure it out.
So that could be anger. Or even a fireball.
I missed her. But maybe I don't know. And she'll just kind of lean against Sonder at that point.
No, you still need to lie back. You have a lot of burns.
She'll nod and do as she's instructed. And just float there.
You got 10 minutes and then you can get out. Then you can sit in the sun and dry off.
Okay.
Okay. There's almost this weird calm after the storm effect. Everything has settled back to where it might have been before. After pulling you away from Azazel, Aurora, when you look at Austra's face, there's just this look of... It's mixed emotions, in fairness, but there's betrayal, there's hurt, there's confusion. After grabbing your wrist, she's definitely not as affectionate as she was before. She goes back to sit in the gazebo and finishes off the oats that were given to you. It takes a moment for the adrenaline to stop spiking, but as soon as it does, she drops the weapon and the shield. Kind of collapses into the bench in the gazebo, struggling to stand on her own 2 feet.
So Sonder, Sayer, and Amira would see that.
I would say that at this moment, they are way too focused on Saya and having this own private conversation, because it's all happening at the same time.
Okay.
So you three are focused on Saya and her burns, and you're in the middle of the small pool that before had the face of a man named Sergei. Now
Yeah,
it's
maybe
just...
we should say so long for her. Lightning struck here, but lightning also never strikes the same blade twice.
Hmm.
There's fresh tears in Aurora's eyes as she stands by Austra, very tentatively aware of the change in emotion. It's this thing of like, I'm here with you, and like she acts Austra dropping, but it's that hesitance now of like, I don't want my help, but I'm here.
There's a moment of silence where you can see, while the body is different, the facial expressions are the same. You can see across Austra's face the same face that she pulls every time she's trying to think about how to word something. But eventually she looks up to you. Do you know about what happened to TS or Valdez?
I know we tried to go back and get everyone's bodies so that we could put you to rest. And nobody was there.
You see, I should nod. I process what you've just said. As well, at least that bit of what he said wasn't a lie. Kind of stiffens her back up, looks to see where everyone else is, and seeing that the others are busy with Saya right now. Alstra looks at you, Aurora, and it's the first time that she's actually just looked you square in the eye. And while you are so happy to have her back, there's a little part of you that finds it really off-putting that she now just has green eyes. She looks at you and goes, I don't know how long it was between me dying and me being brought back. I just know that sometime later, I was in Ravenloft. I was awake. I was conscious. But I was dead. Strahd had the ultimate power over me. Because while he wasn't the one that turned me, he was the sire of the one who did. So I had to obey both Strahd's orders and the orders of a random bloodthirsty spawn who just happened to suck me dry. I have had to do things that beforehand we would find despicable. And don't get me wrong, I still do. But when your sire tells you to do something, there isn't any, oh no, I don't feel like it today. It's, oh, of course, sir, right away, sir. I'm not going to talk about what my sire made me do, because frankly you don't need to hear it. That can be my cross to bear. But at the very least I can give you all some kind of information. Living in Ravenloft for 2 weeks gives you a new perspective. In all honesty, I'm kind of glad that I have a new body. That way you wouldn't have to look at all the scars that I had gained. And she begins to subconsciously rub both of her arms. And it's got the double meaning of, well, of course, for a long time she's had to not worry about her body temperature. And now she's sat outside in the cold. But you also see her trace a line down the side of one of her biceps. And you get the impression that something used to be there. You know what else is up there in Ravenloft that we didn't think about? brides. Multiple. Plural. When we first came here, we thought, oh, it'll be so easy. We just have to deal with one psychopath. But no. We have to deal with 6. The Strahd, his 3 brides, his male consort, his butler, 7 if you count Azazel, which I do, by the way, and she gives you a very pointed look.
But I don't.
And that's fine. You obviously spent time with him when I was gone. Can't comment on that. All I know is that Strahd gave Azazel one rule. He could go where he wanted. He could see what he wanted, interact with who he wanted. The one rule was that he couldn't leave before the wedding. What does he do? He leaves. And as soon as Strahd finds out, he decides that Azazel needs to be sent a message to show that he was being serious. I don't know what state you found me in, but I was awake when they ripped my head off. I was awake when one of his brides turned into a direwolf and used me like an oversized chew toy. When I was an inconvenience, one of the brides would pierce meat hooks through my arms and hang me from the wall to keep me out of the way. One of his brides is a magic user. And trust me, she knows how to use it. Azazel walked through those palace doors and said he was there for the wedding. And he was there to be on Strahd's side. I didn't believe him at first. I was happy to see him. Till he pulled that shit. The subconscious rubbing is getting more and more frequent. She's no longer just rubbing her arms. You can see that she crosses her legs and begins to rub at one particular spot in her ankle. Begins to itch at the skin. I've been through a lot. And she just leaves it there. It's a loaded sentence, but you can tell from her face that she's not told you everything.
Mm-hmm. Through listening to that, Aurora's breathing has gotten heavy. She's shaking a little bit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for what you've been through. I'm sorry. sorry. I'm sorry I left that day.
Don't apologize for being smart. I don't blame you for what happened that day in the room, because at the end of it all, if you hadn't have left, we all would have died. I'm not sad or mad at you for leaving. I don't blame anyone for what happened to me in that castle other than Strahd. The second set of deaths, however, I purely put at Azazel's feet. Because he made me believe that he was there to be this bridge between the two groups to get information for me and from me. And I gave him as much as I could. And then he left. No word, no reason, no backup, no plan. He just left. Did the one thing that Strahd told him not to do. And Strahd decided to send a message. The entire house is rigged, by the way.
That doesn't surprise me.
So, if we're going in to cut the head off the snake and all other related metaphors, we're gonna need more than... And she just looks over to the group doing their own baptism right now.
We've been trying to start an army to gather people to fight back.
She doesn't reply to that, but she does nod, like she's taking in what you're saying. She looks away from the people in the pond and looks over towards Esmeralda, who was fully ready to jump into the fight with Azazel. But now that that's de-escalated, she's also walked away. She's essentially found a spot in the middle of this clearing and is now just trying to give everyone privacy, which is incredibly hard to do when there's like different groups that have splintered off into different directions. But she's very much the interloper right now and is just trying to give people space. Who is she?
We met her up at the Abbey. She wants to take down Strahd too. She'll start individually, like pointing out the some of the people like in the party that she can see. It's like name. And Jack is somewhere. I've not seen him for a bit, but he was elected as the group leader.
Was it true what Azazel said, that Saya's a ghost?
Of some kind, yes. It's almost as if she's half dead. She's cold to the touch, and she can walk through people and places.
After a bit of a pause, Asher turns to look at you, Aurora. You know what's going to be weird?
What?
Having to pee. I've just kind of gotten used to not having a bladder. Or at least not needing to use it.
I admit that's not something that I had ever considered.
I'm just letting you know, if I run off into the bushes, because it's been 2 hours.
Understood. I don't think that anybody will mind.
It's also just nice to have taste buds. She takes another scoop of the pre-prepared oats.
What food did you miss the most? We can see if we can get some for you the next time we go to Vallaki.
Oh, you have so much that you need to fill me in on. Azazel told me little bits, but I don't know the whole story. I could really do with a steak.
I'll gladly tell you what I can. I guess I should ask what Azazel has told you so that I can fill in the rest.
That you had met some new people, kind of gestures to Sonda and Amira. That you've travelled all over the place. That there was very little he could outright tell me because of the rules that have been put on me. It was very vague, and what he could tell me using as little detail as possible. so it's probably best to just assume I know nothing.
That's reasonable enough. I suppose the biggest thing would be that the Lady Watcher who resided in Valaki is dead. And the Burgomaster is going to hopefully be treating his people with more courtesy.
You can see her nodding, but there's definitely like that screw of an eyebrow of like trying to even remember who the Lady Watcher is.
The Lady Watcher, she worked for Strahd, and we decided we weren't going to help her with her coup, and while we were trying to see if we could get the layout of her house, things went badly. And that's how we lost Irina. It was a win and a lose that day, but to the top of my mind, at least, that's at least the biggest shuffle of the board. For time's sake, she'll kind of start filling Oustra in on everything else, too.
Mm-hmm. While that's happening, Jack,
Hello?
you finished preparing dinner, and they're still not back. They've been gone a long while now.
Like a nod, and he'll leave a portion for the people of the house, so they can eat as well. And then just kind of pack everything up to just take it out there, I guess. Kind of like picnic. Try to keep it ideally somewhat warm.
Okay. So you wander up, Jack, and what you see is Sonda, Amira, and Saya walking out of the small pond. So they've just been in the pond for some reason. The two sisters are now sat together, having what looks to be a really in-depth chat. But the main thing that catches your attention is the ring of fire damage, just in the middle of the field.
I'm gonna guess Azazel had a chat with you guys and it didn't go too well.
Not really. But he left unscathed. Ish. The fire didn't do anything.
Saya's just got her arms around Amira and Sonder.
Well, that's good to hear. I was made us all dinner in case someone didn't want to just eat oats. Prepared us a chicken. Boiled it. Put together some sides from our rations as well. Nothing insane, but it's more than just oats.
My wolf meat not good enough?
It was dry, which is jerky. Give something warm, fresh cooked.
How dare you say my meat is dry?
I'm sure at a point in time it wasn't.
Finally, the chicken. But in serious, this actually looks really good. Thank you.
Bring it down to everyone. It was boiled chicken, just try to keep it soft, a bit more tender, a bit more succulent. Um, Seasoned. Nothing insane. Wanted to keep it simple, sweet. Get some protein. As well as the bones that were from the chicken as well were turned into a broth.
Nice.
And the giblets were well cooked as well. So he didn't. The only thing that he doesn't have from the chicken is pretty much the beaks, the feet or the feathers.
The meat's actually pretty good for medicine reasons. Or at least is what I heard. I don't trust it. Their feet.
Never made medicine with feet before, and that also being said, I've never made medicine before, so I had no idea.
Pretty sure it's what one of the Vistanis used to say to trick people. And make a quick coin.
Zazel, where did Zazel say he was going?
He went off in that direction? Points in said direction.
Alright. Fair enough.
Aurora might know more, but probably just leave the two of them alone for a little bit.
Hopefully he goes to drop dead somewhere.
Be inviting them for some food as well.
He's a survivor. He'll be okay. We just got given conflicted information a little bit. And Amira will quickly kind of go over what Alstra said. And then some of the bits that she heard from Azazel. So, your move, boss.
I was aware of him heading out to, gonna say in quotation marks, like, with his fingers, side with Strahd.
She's really insistent on it, and that's why she arrived in the condition she did. Ugh. That sounds awful. She's not a commodity, but you know.
Understand, but I don't know what happened in the first group. I know Saya was also on that mindset.
Like I said, it's probably gonna be best to talk to. I guess they are still twins. They're just not identical. It'd be best probably to talk to them, but probably give it a bit of time.
Let's see if they want to come and sit down with us for dinner. Leave a question for later.
I'd probably clear your throat and then just give them dinner and then let them decide. Oh, I'm precious. She's been through a lot today.
Don't doubt that. She's been brought back from the dead.
Technically twice.
That's... Okay, did not know that one.
Well, that's what Saya said. You know, they went down in the coffin shop. And then obviously she was at Strahd's castle.
I was
And,
hoping that she wasn't brought back like that.
well, the abbot said it. And then obviously, quotation marks, Azazel happened. And then Sonder did the really cool thing with the ground. And she's back. So she's kind of died twice and come back twice.
I could put a portion of the food down, keeping it on a plate before taking them. Two plates. Head over to the gazebo. So I'd interrupt the reunion, but curious to see if you guys wanted something other than just oats.
With a smile, I think Austra would just be like, oh, thank you.
I over the plate and set the other one down next to Aurora.
Thank you.
So how you both feel? How both you doing?
I almost feel like I've never had a better and yet worse day.
There's a hesitancy from Austra to be there, like, I don't even know if I want to be answering this question. I'm just really tired. Like, I can feel how tired I am. And she holds up one of her arms to you, Jack, and now that the adrenaline is worn off and, like, there's nothing actually keeping her up, just the effort of raising her arm is causing her muscles to shake.
Going on. We do have a place we can stay, but especially for tonight, but we'd have to do a bit of traveling to get there. If you don't think you can walk, we can have King carry you, unless you all want to.
I have horses now too.
Austra just gives you this. It's essentially a look of mock betray. She's like, you could have led with the fact that you now have a horse.
I didn't think of it at first.
But she does look to you, Jack, and looks up to the sky. And in fairness, it's probably about 4 PM, 5 PM now. So you have a couple of hours of travelling daylight. And so, Astra looks to you and goes, I would much prefer to be somewhere safe for the night.
Everyone's finished with dinner. We'll head out. We'll go back to that tower that we were staying in. Jack will turn, leave the gazebo, and join everyone else.
I just hear Saya go, I am so tired. I don't have any magic left in me.
We're gonna be heading back to the tower. We're all finished up with dinner.
In that moment, she pulls away from Amira and Sonder and goes to Jack and just goes, I'm so happy you were voted as the leader of this group. And she turns away for a second and then turns back and just says for a minute, I'm gonna, and like she kind of mumbles it, but she says, I'm gonna try what Aurora once did, and she's gonna kiss Jack.
Oh. Interesting development.
And then she'll pull away and wince and go, ow, okay, I'm leaving now to eat.
Jack will have a complete... If there's been any time Jack has just been stunned, this is definitely one of those times.
Hashtag sorry, not sorry.
Jack, your stunned reverie is completely interrupted by what starts as a soft chortle, but then just evolves into like a full-on laughing cackle as you all look over, and Esmeralda is in one hand holding the plate of food, but in the other is just pointing at Jack and laughing her ass off.
This is why we love Esmeralda.
Like his
We
face,
stand a queen.
his face right now is just giving her like so much joy. She's laughing at it. She's laughing at him, laughing at the situation. And it's a full-on, like, uncontrolled, hysterical laughter.
Jack will look at over at Esmeralda. Back and Saya back down to the group. Like, just trying to wrap his own head around this. Like, he's blindsided. Hold on. What?
Through the wheezes of the laughter, all you can hear is Esmeralda just being there like, your face!
You really had no clue?
No.
Oh, honey.
I would say Sonder definitely kind of like gently bumps his head with Jax with a very exhausted, wobbly smile and just whispers to Jack, "To be fair, I didn't see anything either, but I also don't know how to read people very well. So I don't think I'm much help."
Take a day. Think about it. Talk to her tomorrow. Don't wait too long, though. But figure it out.
Oh, all right.
Eat your dinner before it gets cold. just looks to Sonda and it's just like, when did I become a mother?
Sonder looks like complete shit. I'm going to tell you right now. He kind of gives Amira this like half smile and kind of like shrugs his shoulders. You kind of get used to it after a while.
Yeah, no, return to send it. You're in charge again.
He kind of like gives a very like tired, barely there nod. Do it tomorrow. I don't want to think anymore right now.
All the reins for today. But you take them back tomorrow.
Sonder kind of just gives a nod. And he's like picking at his food for the most part. He's not like fully eating it. He's kind of just moving it around to make it look like he's eating it.
Eat your food.
Right, Sonder.
Everything still smells like burnt flesh, so I don't really have an appetite right now.
Are there any, like, just wildflowers or, like, daisies or anything?
You'd have to go looking for them, but you can go look.
What do I have to roll?
That would be a survival check if you're foraging.
$26.
Yeah, we'll say that around the northern edge of the pond. So you've had to walk away a little bit and around the other edge, but you were able to find some.
I grab a few and I bring them back and I hold them to Sunda. It's like, smell these.
What flowers did you pick exactly?
DM.
Well, they
I want to know if
were,
they're poisonous or not.
they were poisonous.
Poisonous.
Because it is like by the side of ponds, it's a lot of water lilies, it's a lot of reeds and rushes, it's things that smell like nature, not necessarily floral, but just better than nothing.
Sonder kind of gives a bit of a grateful nod. And he kind of like pulls up his knees to his chest, and he like puts the flowers down on his knees, and he puts his face on top of the flowers. And kind of just stays like that for a little bit. I would say like after a few minutes, he kind of just lets out a very big sigh. And he turns to Jack. And he has this very... I would say, for Jack, it's a very familiar look of, like... his brain won't shut up. He looks exhausted, and he looks extremely sad. And he kind of just, like, butts his head against Jack's shoulder and just very softly says, I don't want to think anymore, so, I'm gonna, I'm gonna be a raccoon for a little bit.
That's a alright, Sandra.
And he kind of just, like, gets a little bit away. He just very wobbly walks a small distance. And he just wild shapes into a raccoon.
Cool. Get up a bit. Walk over to Sonder now that he's in raccoon form. Just kind of pick him up. Kind of hold him as, like, a person would hold a child. Rub his stomach.
He kind of just, like, buries his face in Jack's shoulder. And just, like, his little tiny hands, like, claw and grasp at Jack's vest for dear fucking life. And his ears are, like, flat against his head, and he's just kind of, like, pushing into Jack as hard as he can.
It'll be okay, son. I got you.
A very sad chitter. And just butts his head into Jack's shoulder again.
Just keep Sonder kind of, like, tucked close. He's gonna hold him tight. Once he's finished up with his meal, he's gonna use King as pretty much like a waiter, just to start stacking used dishes and all that jazz on to return whenever we're all ready. Be ready to head back out to the tower.
Okay.
Amira will pick up any gear or supplies or anything that have been left on the ground to take back to the tower with them, because I doubt Alstra's going to be able to, like, carry the armor and the long sword and the, like, fire-breathing equipment, so she'll just pick it back up again and, like, probably give it tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. The journey back to the tower takes a little over an hour. So we'll say that the latest you get there is 6 p.m. You are, though, the only people there. Esmeralda's carriage is still at the front. And you seem to have the place to yourselves. Is there anything that anyone wishes to do for the rest of the day? Or are you all happy for me to end the day here?
Jack will be working on designs. As long as Saunder's still a raccoon, he's still going to keep Saunder kind of like in his lap as he uses his hands to write out
If we're going to the tower, I don't think I can stay in wild shape in the tower. Because it gets rid of magic, right?
That is the question.
I need to relook up the spell. Because there's a very specific spell that's making the effect. I just need to check to see what it does.
I know at some point Say would want to talk to Astra, but that could be the next day. Next session or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, spells and other magical effects are suppressed. So as soon as you cross the threshold, you're no longer a raccoon, you are Zonda.
Sad.
Then Jack is not going to have a raccoon in his lab. Jack is just going to be carrying full-on Sonder and keeping Sonder in his lab.
Okay. Yeah, no, he's just like curled up as much as he possibly can. Like he's trying to make himself as small as possible. And like he's got his like head on one of Jack's like legs, probably like on his like upper thigh. And he's just kind of like staring and watching Jack work. But he's not really like paying much attention to anything. He's very much stuck in his own head, and just kind of laying there, not really doing much of anything.
Is there anyone else that wishes to do anything?
And Mira would like to check to make sure they are the only ones in the tower.
Okay. You do a full top to tail, and you don't find anything.
Awesome.
There's not really anyone to
think so.
hide. Go on, Seb.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think she's just gonna sit against the wall. She feels wiped out without any of her slots left over. She doesn't even have sorcery points really to get anything. So she's run down. She's tired. Not to mention burned, but that's another thing.
Aurora is going to stay close to Austra, but she is going like close that she's still there, but just enough that like she kind of got her space a little bit. And she's gonna just kind of curl up against the wall and start drawing a new picture of Azazel.
Okay. If that is everything, you keep going until the sun sets, the evening passes, and it's time to go to bed. Because there are less people, Esmeralda does stay with you inside the castle, not the castle, the tower, since there is actually space for her to lay on the floor.
Yeah. I think as it got closer for like bedtime, if anyone was seen or near Saya, her head would just droop down and she'd fall into her trance.
Okay.
Even though it's not really needed, Aurora would stay up and take a watch, basically.
Okay.
That's a thing, yeah. Are we taking watches?
I mean, we don't have to. She's kind of just doing it as an excuse of I have too much in my head to go to bed yet. You guys sleep. I'll stay up and I'll watch.
Okay. Since that seems to be it for today, we will end the session there. Take a long rest. You've got to the end of the day. And everyone, this has been 20 Sides of Failure playing Curse of Strahd. We play every Friday night, 7 PM EST, here over at Twitch. Or, if the time zone is too much of a difficulty for you, you can head over to YouTube, same name, same channel, where we publish all of our VODs. A thank you to all of the players. A thank you to everyone for listening. And we will see you all next week. Ta-ta!
Good night.
Good night.